Hello everyone, in this video we are going to make a music player app.
Achilles and his kids, Spider-Man's control.
So let's get started. At first, I'll go to our activity main.xml file, and here I'll change the root layout to relative layout, and then I'll change the text view and I'll add a list view here. I'll set the width and height of this list view to match parent. Let's give this list view an ID, list view song, and let's add a divider. I'll set it to Android color/transparent, and I'll set a divider height of 10.0 sp, and then I'll give it a padding of 8 dp. Alright, now we can go to our main activity.java, and here I'll define our list view, and we also need to define an array to store our song items. So string items. Alright, now inside the onCreate method we need to ask for the storage permission to get access to the phone storage. So for this, at first I'll go to the manifest file, and here under this I'll add the storage permission. So I'll write users permission, and the name will be android.permission.read external storage. Alright, then we'll go to our main activity.java, and here we'll implement the method to ask the runtime permission, and here I'll define a method public void runtime permission. Okay, so for the runtime permission I'm going to use this Dexter library. So from here we have to copy this dependency, and then we have to paste it inside the app level gradle file. Here I'll paste it and click on sync now. And once it's done, we can go back to our main activity.java, and inside the runtime permission method I'll write Dexter dot with context, and I'll pass the context, and then dot with permission I'll write manifest dot permission dot read external storage. Alright, then I'll write dot with listener, and I'll create a new permission listener. Alright, so here we have the three methods: on permission granted, on permission denied, and on permission rational should be shown. So inside here I'll write permission token dot continue permission request, and outside of this I'll write dot check. Alright, so here our runtime permission method is ready, and now we can implement a method to find the songs from the external storage. So for this I'll create a method public array list file, and I'll name it find song, and the parameter will be file, and inside here I'll define a new array list file. I'll name it array list equals new array list. Now I'll write files equals file dot list files. Alright, now I'll write a for loop to check all the files whether it's a mp3 file or a folder. So let's do that. I'll write for file single file inside files. So here I'll check if the file we are getting that is a directory or not. So I'll write if single file dot is directory, and we'll also check that if the directory is hidden or not. So we'll check that if that's not hidden. So I'll write single file dot is hidden, so if that happens then we'll just transfer this whole directory to the array list again to check for songs inside that folder. So for this I'll write array list dot add all, and here I'll call again the function find song, and I'll pass the single file here. Alright, now for the else block we'll check if the file we are getting is a mp3 file or a wav file or not. So for this I'll write if single file dot get name dot ends with, and here we'll see if that file name ends with .mp3 or if that ends with WAV. Okay, so if that happens then we'll just add this file to the array list because we're getting a song here, either mp3 or a WAV format. So I'll write array list dot add, and I'll pass the single file. Alright, now outside of this for loop I'll just return our array list. So that is our find song method. So now I'll implement another method to display the songs inside the list view. So for this we'll create a new method. I'll write void display songs, and inside here I'll write final array list file. I'll name it my songs equals, I'll call the find song method, and here I'll pass the external directory of that device. So I'll write environment dot get external storage directory. All right, and then I'll call the array items equals new string, and the array size will be my songs dot size. So I'll write my songs dot size, and now I'll create a for loop and store all the songs inside the items. So I'll write for int I equals 0, I is less than my songs dot size, and then I plus plus. All right, and now I'll add all the single items inside the array. So I'll write items I equals my songs dot get, and here I'll pass I, and then I'll write dot get name dot toString dot replace, and here I'll replace the dot mp3 with null, and similarly I'll also replace the WAV. So I'll write dot replace, I'll pass w dot WAV, and I'll replace it with null. Okay, now I'll go out of that for loop, and here I'll attach all the items inside the list view we have created. So I'll write array adapter string, I'll call it my adapter equals new array adapter, that will be string, and inside the parameters I'll write the context this, and then I'll give the layout name android dot r dot layout dot simple list item 1, and then we have to pass the items. All right, now I'll attach the adapter with the list view. So I'll write list view dot set adapter, and here I'll pass the my adapter. All right, and after that I'll call the display songs method inside the on permission granted method. So I'll write display songs, that's it, and I'll call the runtime permission inside the on create method. So I'll write runtime permission, and now I'll initialize our list view. So I'll write list view equals find view by id r dot id dot list view song, Alright, so now our program is ready. Let's run this on our smartphone and see what happens. As you can see, here is all the songs inside the list view. And now let's make this list view beautiful. So let's get started. For the custom layout, I'll create a new drawable file. Right click on the drawable, create a new drawable resource file. I'll name it list bg. Click on OK. And inside here, I'll change the selector to shape, and I'll change the shape to rectangle. And inside here, I'll write solid, and I'll set the color to black, and then I'll create a stroke. I'll set the width to 1 dp. I'll set the color to hash FF362E. Alright, and here I'll close that. Alright, and now I'll create a custom layout for our list view. So for this, I'll click on the layout and create a new layout resource file, and I'll name it list_item, and I'll click on OK. Alright, and now I'll change the root layout to card view. So androidx.cardview.widget.cardview. Alright, and I'll set the height to wrap content, and I'll set the margin end to 8 dp, margin top to 8 dp, and margin start to 8 dp. And then inside this card view, I'll create a relative layout. I'll set the width to match parent and the height to wrap content, and inside this I'll give this a padding of 8 dp, and I'll set the background to @drawable/listbg, which we have created. Alright, and inside this relative layout, I'll create a image view. I'll set the width and height to 40 dp, height 40 dp, and then I'll give this image view an ID, img song, and then I'll write align parent start to true, and I'll also align it with the top. So I'll write align parent top to true, and then I'll give margin in both of the sides. So I'll write margin start to 5 dp and margin to top 5 dp, And for the background, I'll again pass the list bg, and for the source image, I'll just quickly create a music icon. So I'll right click on the drawable, create a new vector asset, and from here I'll search for a music icon. So I'll write music, and here is that. I'll just create this. The color, I'll choose white, and I'll rename this to IC_music. Click on next, finish. So here is our icon. So I'll just write src equals @drawable / IC_music, and then we'll create a text view here. So I'll write text view, and I'll set the width to wrap content, and I'll set the height to 40 dp. Then I'll give this text view an ID of txt song name, and I'll align it to the end. So I'll write align parent end true, and I'll give some margins here. So I'll write margin start 5 dp, and also the margin end to 5 dp. And then I'll align it to the end of the song icon. So I'll write end of layout to end of, and I'll pass id/img song. So it will place right next to the img song image view. Now I'll give this a padding of 6 dp, padding 6 dp, and then let's set the text color to white. Let's set a text here to see. I'll write song name, I'll set the text size to 15 sp, I'll make it single line, so single line equals true. And then I want this text view to set selected, so it keeps on showing the song name with a good animation. So I'll write mark you repeat limit, and here I'll write mark you forever, and then I'll set the ellipse size to mark you. And then I'll write scroll horizontally to true. That's it. Now we can go back to our main activity.java, and then here I'll create a custom adapter for the custom list view. So here I'm going to write class custom adapter extends base adapter. And now as you can see, it's showing some error here. In order to fix that, we have to implement some methods. So I'll implement all these 4 methods and click on OK. So as you can see, there are these 4 methods created: get count, get item ID, and get view. So for the get count, I won't return 0 here, rather than I'll return items dot length. Alright, now I'll go to the get view method, and here I'll write view my view equals get layout inflator dot inflate, and here I'll pass the layout of our list view. So I'll write r dot layout dot list underscore item, and for the second parameter I'll pass null. Alright, and then I'll assign the text view inside our custom layout. So I'll write text view, I'll call it text song equals my view dot find view by id, and I'll pass the id of that text view. So r dot id dot txt song name, and then I'll write text song dot set selected to true, and then I'll write text song dot set text, and here I'll pass the items, and here I'll pass the position which you're getting from here. Alright, and then we'll return the view. So I'll write return my view. Alright, so our custom adapter is ready. So I'll just disable this adapter here, and instead of this I'll write custom adapter equals new custom adapter, and here I'll set the adapter with the list view. So I'll write list view dot set adapter, and here I'll pass the custom adapter. Alright, and then let's also change the background color of our layout. So here I'll write background to black. Alright, and now let's run this app on our phone. As you can see, here is now all the songs with the custom list view which we have created, and now it looks much good. So that was it for this video. In the next part we'll design the music player, and we'll set on click listener for all the songs to play.